Sunny MR is a renowned music composer, producer, sound engineer, and live engineer with 20 years of experience. He has worked on Bollywood movies including Barfi, Dangal, and Ludo, and has toured globally with Arijit Singh. Sunny has collaborated with artists like Diljit Dosanjh, Shalmali, and Nikita Gandhi, and has won numerous awards and has earned praises from the internationally acclaimed music composer M.M. Keeravani.
So as far as processing is concerned, we have both the domains, which is the analog as well as the software domain. What is it that you like? What is it that you prefer? And what is your take on both of these mediums?
Absolutely. So, for me, it's like input signal, analog, well recorded with good hardware, good microphone. For output, I'm totally in the box because I think I stopped using any hardware for mixes in 2012. From 2012 onwards, I was completely in the box because I realized that it's okay to troubleshoot, because with analog gear comes troubleshooting as well. So it's okay to troubleshoot things at the gain staging or the capture stage than trying to do it later. Because I had one incident wherein I had used like a summing mixer for a mix, and my summing mixer blew off, and they didn't have an alternate piece. And the composer was very glued to that mix. They just wanted a couple of changes, and we had to wait for 10 days to actually get another piece of gear. And you can't own backup of every piece.
Correct.
The calibrations matter. Each piece sounds different. So to get rid of all that headache, I was like, okay, I'm going to mix everything in the box. But capturing per se, I love the analog world, and mixes wise, I love the digital world. There's no this thing that today, okay, I'm going and I have a 48 channel console and suddenly one channel is not working or one channel is giving noise, and then the way you had to run through the whole board and check what is happening where.
Correct.
That pain, I think, is not there in the digital domain. Yeah.
I think also we've had a talk about this some time back where we discussed that a well captured source is half done for the mix, because even I prefer that.
And don't expect it to magically change in the mix.
Exactly. I think the whole idea of our discussion was to actually establish that a lot of shaping, lot of balance, lot of mix happens at the production stage.
Level, yeah.
And I think it's the mix engineer nowadays do not shape your sounds. They're not responsible to balance your song. They're not supposed to mix, in terms of
so they can
balancing.
Shape it, but not change the balance.
Yeah, they can shape it in a manner that the basic emotion, the basic dynamics, and the basic sound shaping of the song doesn't change.
Totally.
And I think I think it's a more tough era for engineers.
Yes,
because
extremely, because it's damn difficult to maintain the balance, yet polish it, shine it, make it ready for the DSP, so that it's like whether you talk about loudness or just the track being dynamic. I think it's a very difficult time.
In fact, it also piques my interest in another thing, which is the simulations that we have. Several simulations of EQs, compressors, and everything. Have you done ABs, and have you come across any postulates that you can share as of up to what extent these software emulations work wonders for you, and after what stage should you invest in an actual hardware?
So honestly, I have not done any ABs, because the day simulations were introduced, there is no way to recreate an analog circuitry. You can draw something on your programming software to say that okay, when this knobs goes this much, this is the kind of EQ which you add to emulate it. I treat it as a different tool altogether. Also, a simple example of when I use simulation of a hardware versus like the EQs or the compressor which the DAWs come with it is, if I don't want any much coloring to happen, then I would use an EQ from the DAW. But if I want some color to be added, then I would use one which is simulated of emulated of an analog hardware. And that discussion itself is it's a non-ending discussion of whether it has actually reached there or not. Whether it is not comparing to the hardware, if it is not 100%, it's fine because they still sound great. They every hardware simulation I've heard, emulation I've heard, they in today's time, including what we discuss about synths, they sound great. You use them as a tool and don't compare it with the others.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. In fact, you quite a few times you've mentioned the term color.
Color. Yeah.
I would like you to tell the listeners, explain the listeners what exactly color means. What is this color that we keep talking about?
Okay. Color is basically your taste. It's nothing to do with what the software has to offer. But by color, it's like you have all the ingredients to cook food. And there is one thing which will combine it all together, which in food would be salt. That's that element, right? If there is no salt in food. So it depends on how much you want to sprinkle it, what kind of a salt you want, whether you want rock salt, whether you want sea salt or whatever. It's just a personal taste. And there's no definition of color. It might be, for me, a certain kind of saturation would sound like a color to me. For someone else, it would be a certain EQ bump would be a color. So color has no definition. It depends on your taste.
It's a very interesting illustration how you've mentioned rock salt, and I'd prefer orchestral or jazz salt.
Amazing. I don't think so I have a preference yet.
And before I get into the spiral of bad jokes and very bad jokes, thank you so much for joining us, and it really means a lot, you taking out time for our viewers, and and we really enjoyed welcoming you in your own studio.
Which is getting embarrassing.
Which is an amazing, beautiful facility, and thank you for taking out time.
No, thank you for having me. I think knowledge being spread is the best we can do. I'm still learning every day from everyone. It might be one of the guys who works for me is 2002 born, and he will come up with something which I'll be surprised that I could never think of it. So never stop learning.
Yes.
Make music, take breaks. Please don't shut yourself in a room and with no light for hours. It might be helpful on that day, but maybe not for lifelong, So just take, that's another thing which I keep telling people, that don't work for more than an hour at a go. Just take a short break and everything. Enjoy the process.
That's an amazing suggestion. Don't work more than an hour, unless you are people like Sunny and me.
No, even I take breaks.
I know it. But thank you for doing this. Thank you so much, and looking forward to many more of such conversations.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And Shubh Bakhair, Shubh Ratri.
Shubh Bakhair, Shubh Ratri.
Thank you so much.